Through her I see wonder, a feeling of grace. She's my other half, my missing piece. Everything becomes okay. From when I wake up until I fall asleep.
If I Let Go is basically about a man who is trapped in between two realities, and in each one he's in love with a separate girl, and so that's his conflict. He's in love with, he's stuck in two realities, and in each one he's in love with a different girl, and so he seeks out help from a therapist.
Nobody comes to a therapist by mistake, Cohen. They come to a therapist because something's troubling them. So why don't you just relax and tell me what's really troubling you?
The story behind the script started about senior year of high school, and there was an end of the year project in one of our classes, the broadcasting class, and it could be anything at the time. So me and Oscar decided to do something, film-wise.
We just throwing around some ideas for like a final project, and then somehow we came around an idea. It wasn't really this idea, so to speak, but it was the basis of it.
The way I remember it is I sort of thought of the backbone to the whole story about like this guy who can't remember which girl he falls in love because there's two parallel universes and whatnot. That was just like the main broad idea.
Edgar says he came up with the whole idea by himself, but I remember it being a group collaboration.
In broadcasting class, we just sort of added to it. It was like if I added something, then he would look at it, he would go through it, and he would add something to it, and then I would look over his anything that he added or any revisions, and then I would add to that, and it would go back and forth.
Eventually we didn't end up using that idea for that final video, but so just kept it in the back burner.
We put it on the side for a while. I remember doing Love's Not Meant for Us. Oscar actually asked me if he could use the title, because the title for the script back then was These Fading Dreams, and he asked me if he could use it, but he ended up not using it, and things went on for like another year. And then during the summer of 2014, Oscar said that he was working on something.
I wanted to write a new script, and the idea came back up again. So I messed around with the idea a bit, adjusted it, and so around last summer I just wrote it all out and wrote the script that we ended up filming over the course of this last month.
Not done. It gets a little more complicated.
Oh. Sorry. Please, by all means, continue.
I guess it was a pretty long process, because originally I wanted to film this over the summer of 2014. So last year I wanted to start filming it, and I wanted it to be a summer project, but so I started asking people if they were interested in the project, and a lot of people got on board, but eventually, I don't know, for some reason, it just didn't go through over summer. So after a few months, let it just sit. I think it was around closer to winter time, I started asking people again if they were still interested in working on the project, and a lot of them still were.
He sort of had to revise the script, make sure it was okay. And then getting the cast was pretty hard. Since I was in Long Beach, he asked Brandon to get people around the local area.
I got a lot of help from Brandon. He helped me find a lot of actors that we still needed, because most of the people that we had on board was for like the production side of it. We didn't have any actors, so he helped a lot with that. And so once we had everyone on board, I met with a couple of the people, showed them the script, and then over winter break we just shot the whole thing.
Wow, this is fantastic.
One of the biggest differences that I saw with this film was just that, I don't know, it's been one of the biggest projects that we've worked on, because usually we have like a crew of maybe just 2-3 people, and then this time we expanded to like, we had someone for cinematography, we had someone just directing, we had someone catering for us, then we had someone just marking whatever shots we were taking. So that really took off a lot of stress of just having to do it all yourself. We also had someone for sound, and that allowed us all to just focus on our own tasks, which in the end, in the long run, just made the film that much better, because everyone got to learn their position and was skilled in their position, overall making the whole project a lot better.
I feel like this is pretty different in the, I guess, the scope. In a way it's small, it's claustrophobic, but in a way it's also big location-wise, where we've filmed and whatnot. We usually film like places around, like in where we live, but we decided to go beyond that and go to different places. And also this is sort of like a mix between a noir, puzzle, romance. It's, in a way, it's like Love's Not Meant for Us mixed with Lapse.
Acting wise also, it was one of the biggest projects we've worked on, since usually also we only have maybe 1 or 2 characters in our films, and this time I think we had somewhere around 4 or 5 characters or actors working on the film. And so I really got to enjoy that, meeting a couple new people, getting to know a few others a little better. So it was a pretty fun experience.
I'm crazy, aren't I?
You're not crazy, Cohen. Just extremely interested.
We filmed in many different locations around just the whole Bay Area.
We used about 4 vague locations for the overall basis of the film. We shot at my living room, then we shot at someone's house.
We filmed in SF at Land's End Trail and also at the Golden Gate Park.
And then we shot in Walnut Creek also. And originally for like the Dr. Jacob scenes, we were looking for an office, a therapist's office to film at, but you know, we couldn't really find one, so I changed up the script a bit, made it to where it was more of like a house call between Dr. Jacobs and Cohen. So then I just took a look at my living room and moved some couches around and figured that could work. And then when looking for locations for the characters of Anna, May, and Anna May, what I was really looking for was some locations that were really gonna mirror each individual character in the way that Cohen felt about each one. So like for Anna, he loves the life in her, the outgoingness, and so I really wanted a vibrant location, so that's why we decided to film at Walnut Creek. I like the cityscape of it. I felt that really went with Anna's character. And then with May, since her character, what Cohen sees, what he loves in her is like how she's more relaxed. So that I really wanted a lot of nature shots that we ended up shooting at San Francisco in the Golden Gate Park, which was really beautiful. We found some nice locations in there. And then going to Anna May, the locations were basically gonna have to be the same as Anna and May, since she reflected both of them, and that's what Cohen loved in her. That's why we went back and shot at Walnut Creek again. We shot at Golden Gate Park again. And then for the ending scene, we also shot at Land's End Trail for Anna May. And I guess the reason we ended up picking there was looking at the beach and how the waves hit up against the rocks there, and it was just a beautiful location. It almost gave like a surreal like feeling. So it was a pretty neat place to film at that I felt really went with Anna May's character.
So tell me what's going on.
We are trying to shoot their scene. They're on a date.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Give us some privacy. No paparazzi.
We're at this
Chinese.
It's like this,
They're at a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah. It's
Is the food good?
It's authentic.
They're waiting on the waiter.
Yeah?
I think the main thing that was difficult for me was just being DP. Other films that we've done before, we usually sort of switched roles, being director, being the cameraman and whatnot. But this one, he entirely wanted to be director. Me and Oscar sort of respect if it's someone's script, then they're basically the one in charge and the other one's sort of helping. So I was the one who said, okay, I'll be cinematographer then. And it was hard because that was like basically my first time doing just that, trying to figure out what he wants. And the thing was, we didn't really know where we were shooting. We sort of had to scout the locations right then and there before we shot, like an hour before or 30 minutes before. And also, he didn't really storyboard as much. For the Dr. Jacob scenes, it was pretty easy, with just like tripod here, tripod there. But the shots with Anna, May, and Anna May, it was pretty difficult, seeing as he envisioned it in his head, but he didn't really storyboard it, so it was hard to figure out what he wanted. He just told me, oh, just put it there or put it there.
It was always hard to get everybody's schedules together. So like figuring out when someone was available to film this, or whenever someone wasn't available, or just working with everyone's schedule. So that was a big challenge, but we ended up working around it. Aside from people's schedules, I guess whenever we were on location somewhere, we always had a difficulty of some sort. Like when we shot at my living room, we always needed a quiet ambience, and we didn't always get that. We always heard footsteps going above because it was an apartment, and so the people that lived upstairs sounded like they were like jumping around or something. I don't know. It was like 11 p.m. and they still weren't asleep. And can you hear them?
Just a little bit, he said.
A lot of my family was also sick, so there was a lot of coughing going around, and we would have to cut a take whenever we were in the middle of a shot, and then we heard a cough in the background. So that really set us back a few times.
Sorry about my apartment. It's noisy.
And then when we shot in SF, not many problems there also, except for maybe Land's End Trail for the ending. We were just trying to figure out where we wanted to shoot specific shots.
When we went there to film, that was actually our first time being there, so we sort of had to scout before we like shot like an hour before, and figuring out like which would be a good place to get what shot, and how we would get it, what angle.
Me and Edgar, we went like on a little hike looking for the perfect beach for that last shot. We're just gonna go check some.
Yeah.
See if it's filming.
Yeah. Oh no, but what about that one? That's the one I was talking about.
No, I know, we're gonna use that, but Oh yeah, time was a big issue when we were filming that last scene.
When we filmed at Land's End Trail, it was like around 3.
And the sun was supposed to set at around 5:30ish, so we had a little under an hour to shoot the whole ending scene. So it was a pretty big rush, and we were running from place to place, just trying to make it there so that the time difference with the sun wouldn't look too different on camera.
When me and Oscar scouted, like at that moment, we just found some tremendous places that are really beautiful. It was pretty amazing. And we actually got it during the golden hour when the sun was actually setting, which is pretty cool because it brought some like really beautiful lighting, and the shots were just amazing.
And then for like one of the last ending shots, it took us a little while to figure out how we wanted to shoot the very last shot. At first we wanted to go through like a tunnel that was also there at the trail, but we realized it was too dark, and it just, as nice as it looked, we just couldn't work with it. But then we looked out onto the ocean, and there was this rock formation that, like, if you looked at it, it sort of looked like a heart. And so we just decided to make the final frame of the film just follow Cohen, and then as he walks by, we just leave the camera looking out onto the ocean, and then in the very background to the left, you see the rock formation with the heart in the middle, and we thought it was just suiting for a good reflection point at the end for the audience to look at. And I don't know, I feel like it ended the film on a good note.
Explain. You know what? Talk about.
Sex, baby.
Let's talk about you and me.
Let's talk about
What didn't I love about making this film? It's just we got to go out and film, do what we love almost every single day during the break. It kept us busy. I was among like some of my closest friends, and every day we'd get up probably like around 6 or 7 a.m., go out and film for a bit. Then we always ended up getting somewhere good to eat. So there was a lot to love besides just making a new movie with some friends. It was just about the experience.
I loved how it was my first time being DP. I loved how we went to different places to film, different places that we haven't filmed before, and it was just turned out to be beautiful. I love how we used new faces.
I got to meet some new people. I got closer with a few people.
And also, it was their first time filming just a whole film, so it was cool sort of getting their acting chops and whatnot.
What I mainly loved about the whole film, though, was by the end just how close we had gotten, because at the end we all just had like a little premiere.
Oscar, he had a premiere, and it was like the first premiere we had for any of our films. We tried to before, but it turns out like I had to go back to college, or it just didn't work out with all the cast members trying to be there and whatnot. So it was cool how this was actually like the first time we actually had a premiere. It was pretty cool how everyone dressed up.
Almost everyone that was involved in the film showed up, and we had a good time. We went out to eat after, and it just ended up being a great night. It seemed like everyone enjoyed the film. Everyone enjoyed just each other's company, so that really warmed my heart. Just seeing that and knowing that that was the product of working on this film. It was a fun ride, you guys. It was all thanks to you guys that this film was made, you know. 2 years ago, this was just an idea in first period of high school.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Me and Edgar came up with it. He likes to say he came up with
Okay. I did. Actually did.
it. We came up with it. Last year it was just a script, and today it's a movie.
No.
It's crazy how stuff happens, I guess. We made a movie. We met people. I got to know some of you better. I met some new people. It was a fun ride. Yeah.
We got free donuts.
We got free donuts.
They weren't free for me.
I don't know what else to say.
Well, we walked the Golden Gate Bridge.
We walked the Golden Gate Bridge.
Not everybody did. Not everybody. Yeah, not everybody.
We walked the Golden Gate Bridge. But I guess the main thing to say is it was all thanks to all of you guys. I want to thank all you guys, because without any of you guys, I wouldn't have made this film. So, thank you. If you haven't watched the film, stop watching this right now. Go back and watch the film, and then come back and watch this. But I'm not going to spoil it for you here. So, go watch that.